the last week before Christmas where we've seen them come together a little bit more. Potential for upset, maybe. But we have to see what they're running in terms of their comp, because maybe we're going to see something a little bit different. Maybe we're going to see something very much the same. If you're 55, why change something? But we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. And I think this is an absolutely crucial game for Orange Logo right now. They are 2-2 in the standings. One of the pre-qualified teams coming in here, and currently they are tied for 4th position.
They've got horrible games left.
They have as well, yeah.
Look at CCG in the last week.
I know,
as well.
I know.
They're going to come back. They've got
to really pull it out of the bag.
I mean, what they're doing right today, they've got, not only have they got the chance to, get themselves some more points on the board, maybe push themselves even to a 3rd position towards the end of the season as well, but they can decide in a way who is going to the finals. I said this a couple of weeks into Pro League, when they had that loss that we weren't expecting. That they can not that they can throw the game obviously, but they're going to be able to decide who's going to be in those 2 top slots for sure, because they've got 2 massive matches.
And as well, I am just going to say, I realise that it is a slim chance, but the first sort of step on their road to the finals has happened correctly. Morgan's lost their game, which means they only have 2 points. So Orange Logo in this one, they are ahead of those opponents. They take the 4th place position single-handedly.
God, that would just be...
It could happen.
That would just
It's not very likely. I don't think it will happen. It all hinges on this game.
I mean, we can't go into game because they're not ready. But yeah, there is that. I mean, it's...
Yeah. I think
it's still quite, across the board. There's still positions which we're not sure about. Maybe, I mean, NA we've got the Abjord, which 1st position is going to be difficult to see that being taken away from them. Whereas we've got 55 HP monks. Maybe they're in a similar situation, but it's still really open for 1st/2nd. There's still money difference as well, so that positioning is obviously still important, whether or not you come 1st or 2nd. And then going to, playoffs finals as well later, in Feb. So, man, we're on the road. We are well and truly on the road. I can't believe we're almost, we're into the 2nd half of the Pro League season now. I mean,
feels like it only just started.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is immense, and tonight's going well so far as well.
I think as well, a super important thing about this next match is this is Orange Logo's kind of chance at redemption here. If they can take this game against rank 55, arguably the strongest European team, it says a lot about kind of them regaining their kind of identity as a team, because they came in as one of the top 4. They came in as everyone was kind of hailing them as one of the favorites to at least be top 3 kind of thing. And Vermilion, on the other hand, everyone was kind of saying they were one of the weakest one.
Whoa.
Vermilion are now tied top 2 and doing a phenomenal job. Orange Logo haven't really had that same kind of throughput, and this could be their opportunity to really show that they do still have that potential to take games, and maybe in the 2nd season of the Pro League, maybe that's their opportunity to come in with one of those top 2 spots. But anyway, enough nattering about the squads. Let's take a look, because we're ready to head into the map for the 3rd game. It is going to be once again Forest of Niflhel for our first map here, and let's head onto the map and take a look at the builds that these teams are going to be bringing to the table.
I mean, I didn't know what to say there for a moment, because I think I went onto Orange Logo's side and I was just like, Syndrome Mesmer. Syndrome Mesmer. Syndrome Mesmer. He's playing a Mesmer, everyone. Anyway, let's go to Pharaoh first. He's going to be playing. He's going for Zerka. Wow. Orange Logo really just immediately almost jumps out of his seat.
He's got the sword. He knows it's going to be nerfed. He's like,
just using
let's come on. Let's use it while we've got it.
Adjusted. But yeah, Staff Sword there, of course, going for the shield as well. Zerka Amulet with durability. And let's go over to Rom, who's going to be going for all the glyphs there, as well as, of course, as the strength of the pack. Celestial with durability there as well. We're also going to be watching him go for Nature Magic, Beast Mastery, and Druid there. Still going for Druidic Clarity. Obviously, we've seen a little bit of a mix-up with Primal Echoes coming out today as well as the Grandmaster with the Entangle. We're going to go over to Syndranir, who is playing a Bunker support Mesmer. Going for Portal here, though, and Time Warp. So it's going to be interesting to see if we do see people switch things in and out, because obviously, you know, people sometimes drop out and have a look back into the map and spectate and have a look at people's builds and whatnot as well. But Soldier Amulet again as well, which is what I was talking about before. We got the power damage coming out, still got the tank ability, but bringing the extra pressure out, which can really help in team fights, especially. Then Dinch is going to be playing, Denshi, sorry, is going to be playing Condition Revenant. I know it says Dinch there, but you know, we'll all call him Denshi. We all know who Denshi is. And then Frostball, he's going to be playing a support as well. But he's going to be going, oh, we are actually going to see exactly the same utilities there as well. Well of Recall, and then we have the Well of Recall. So, you know, Precog obviously gone because they got a little bit of a nerf, and, you know, deservedly so with the blur, and you're able to actually cap the point at the same time. Gravity wells all over the shop, portals. We've got a lot of mobility for this team at the moment as well from Orange Logo, and then we've got decapability coming out from Rom, and then we're going to go over to the other side here where the Oracle is going to be running a Bunker support and build, of course, as well, but going for the Blink there. As it goes for Chaos, of course, obviously with Inspiration and Chronomancer there as well. And then we're going to go over to Mancow. He's going to be playing a Revenant, but he's going to be going for the Condition variant, going for Vipers there. With Levin Teeth, he's going to be playing Revenant as well with the Condi effects. Zan Yar, maybe heard something about the pirates you were talking about earlier, as it brings out the pirate costume as well. You know, Zan, without a doubt, is going to be one of the strongest engineer players in the world in Guild Wars 2, without a doubt. He's going to be running the typical build there as well, as we go over towards Texby, who's going to be playing, guess what, everyone? Double Mesmer comps. But what's going to be the victor? Will it be the double Mesmer comp with the 2 Revengy on the side of rank 55 Dragons? Or is it going to be a little bit of a difference here with Orange Logo bringing out double Mesmer with Power Rev, and also going for, of course, the Ranger as well, which we don't see on the opposite side of the map. Power Rev, very, very interesting. Interesting mix here of power and Condi damage especially.
We're going to be seeing here the Druid versus the Engineer in these comps right now. It's mechanics versus nature, the true test. Is it going to be
I guess, yeah,
flower power fighting through? Or is it going to be the rise of the machines as Skynet takes over? We'll have to find out as we head into this game. I mean,
really, I mean,
yeah, that's a tough one to call.
Right. I mean, you know, significant difference there, really, as well. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, you know, Zan. It's not only because you could see, you know, the difference between Guns and Tools and also Super. You know, Guns and Tools is a very, very good engineer as well, but Super's been playing engineer since the dawn of time. Even though he did have a break from the game as well, but you saw him really one-upping in a lot of situations. I think Guns obviously went for a little bit of a change up here and there, had a bit of less protection. So in the end, in sustained 1v1s, he was obviously, you know, going to be losing out there in the end. But yeah, there's differences, but you know, this is going to be a very interesting game, and I'm looking forward to seeing how well Farrells is going with this team as well, because, you know, remember he came in, of course, for Tage a while ago, and obviously, you know, when you change your team setup, especially being, you know, a team that's been at the top for so long, suddenly a new team member comes in, there's a lot of things that have to change as well. You know, rank 55 obviously reformed, Dragons reformed as well under a new name, a new banner as well, and have done well. They've adjusted to as well as a team, but you know, Tage was a key member of Orange Logo, and that hit them hard, but I feel like they've really come back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, one thing we haven't said as well so far in the stream today is make sure you get involved on Twitter as well. Use the hashtag Guild Wars or hashtag GW2PL. That is obviously Guild Wars 2 Pro League. And make sure, I mean, you can tweet at myself and Jebro as well, at ESL Munchables and at Jebdan. Let us know who you think is going to win this one. Make sure you use the hashtag Druid if you want the red team to win. Or in fact, let's go hashtag Flower Power for Orange Logo or hashtag Skynet for rank 55 Dragons. We'll see who you guys want to win, but we're already seeing the split across the map. A little bit of a different strategy coming out from these guys so far. We're going to see, actually, Orange Logo starting off. They were heading 3 towards Keep to kick things off, but they've immediately changed that as they saw 2 went over towards that mine. So they're going to start off that 2 versus 2. And actually, it's going to be the Henge already captured here for rank 55. So they kick off very strong. They get a map, they get a point down for themselves. And Syndroneer actually feeling the wrath of this one. Beautiful play. Syndroneer pulls back. He's going to be able to get the decap.
So surprised that they fell for that. And that's Syndroneer. He's in a bit of trouble here. He does have to jump off nodes as the Chaos Storm puts pressure on him. Not obviously able to get back into the portal there as well. And we are going to see Mancal now. Syndroneer is just holding them off at the moment. And he's playing around with their minds, you know, like he would as a thief or he would as any class. Again, you know, getting out of that situation. But he's not got Blink to quickly get away here. Now, this is the thing. They need to hold the points on the map. He's using the staff very well to get away as well as Phase Retreat comes out. He needs the support from Frostball. Frostball comes in to try and block some of that damage. And this is going to be big. Can Frostball get the res here as well? He's able to get it. They're back at full capacity here. Syndroneer's back at about 60-70% health. And that's a good recovery from Orange Logo, so they could take the actual gain as well on the opposite side of the map. But Rom is now in a 1v2 situation, has the line of sight and to try and survive. We are going to see Frostball coming over to this side of the map to help them out.
Yeah, they are indeed. So we did see both side points captured, one for either team, but rank 55 managed to get the decap onto that mine. So they're going to have the point advantage right now as they have the Henge and then just battles across the map going on right now. 2v2 and a 3v3. One at Keep, one at Mine, and we'll see who's going to be able to take this one. The pressure really starting to push onto Orange Logo. Syndroneer and Rom both incredibly low, and it looks like they might both be going down into downstate. Syndroneer somehow staying alive, just rolling around trying to protect himself. He's just going to roll back through the team, gets his shield up, blocking some of those damage. 2,000 HP for so long, and it looks like he might have just got away with this one. Blinks straight back into the fight and immediately gets punished for it. He's in that downstate, but Dinch tries to get the res. Immediately the execute comes out though, and that is going to be a man advantage for rank 55.
Yeah, I mean, there as well, that was really good focus. I mean, Syndroneer was doing everything right there that he possibly could, but it was always running, and they couldn't put any damage. It was just a matter of time, really, as well. As we go over towards the midpoint, just watch this damage coming out onto Mancal there. Crystalline Hibernation comes out. Ferroz does pick out the Herald Elite, of course, which is going to operate with some CC, and unable to get that out. As Dinchy drops very low. We can see the extra burst coming out there as well. Is he going to be able to get res here? It looks unlikely, and we are going to see Frostball trying to go for it. Obviously, the finish comes out as well, and he's going to be taken out, as well as Rom on the other side of the map as well. Does get actually rezzed up here from Syndroneer off respawn. So good job, actually, from those two. They should be able to hold this point contested at present, but they will lose the mid, and they're going to be struggling to pick up caps. Especially with Farrell going down.
That mid was so crucial as well, because that is a 2 cap now, but as well, it's on the home side for rank 55, so they can constantly just reinforce these 2 points. The Henge is very easy for them to defend, and they can defend the keep quite easily as well, with it just being in the middle of the map. They're actually going for this 3rd point, but I feel like that might be overextending, but they're trying to prove me wrong right now, because they've already dropped Rom. They get the kill straight away, and they're looking for more. They're looking to get the 3 cap right now. This is incredibly confident play from rank 55, but this could be punished immediately. We can see players going over towards the keep, trying to get this decap, trying to make sure that the 3 cap can't come out right now. But rank 55, they still have a man over at the mine. They get the 3 cap. If they can defend these points, they are in phenomenal stead.
Yeah, 3 cap against Orange Logo. That does not happen very often, and it's happening with confidence. And really, you can't see that changing a massive amount. We've seen, stranger things happen. Obviously, Orange Logo in the past being able to come back from, impossible odds. But Pharaoh as well, going down so low as he gets pinned right into that corner. We see a portal coming out as well, as we see movement back over towards this mine node. Portal comes out, and we are going to see, the damage coming out onto Zan. Quite heavy there. Good job from Orange Logo to get the decap, of course, as well. And now, obviously, Pharaoh trying to bring out that extra damage off to Zan is doing a good job around the side of that pillar there, but as we see him go into the down state with the random crane in the background, and now Oracle tries to come in, trying to delay with CC, goes in for the res. We're going to see the feedback coming out. Look at his health.
He's going to get it.
Go from 0 to almost
it gets interrupted. There's the execute. Okay, so they do manage to get the kill. Frostball now is going to be going down though, so it's kind of 1-for-1 if Frostball does drop. But the mine, importantly, was decapped, but they can't afford to just stay around here. They need to send someone to hench. They need to send maybe 1 or 2 people to keep, but the thing is they don't have the numbers to spare to go for these.
No, not at the moment. At least if when Frostball does eventually die, they will have potentially advantage numbers. They're losing 1 member at a time for Ranked Dragons, but the problem is that, yeah, Orange Logo need to move out, and that's exactly what they're doing. Is see Denshi here running out with, it looks like he's just dragged a chair from him, from the local bar, as he goes over towards the midpoint now as well, and he's looking for that decap. Might be able to get it here, as Zan does think about trying to come up as well, but look at the port. That's so useful. That gets onto that midpoint to make sure that doesn't happen from Mancal. That's good action from him. Hibernation comes out as well, which means he's going to be okay for a moment, but that damage, extra damage comes out as well. Potential res comes out, and that's good. And that's always going to happen as well. Texby doing a fantastic job on the Mesmo in that support build. Of course, Dinshi going down here. Can we see it come out? We can indeed, and that's going to be probably the end of the push there for Orange Logo.
Frostball with a really good play goes immediately to hench. He realizes that they're not going to be able to win that fight at the keep, and instead goes for a different node. This is going to be so crucial for them, because not only do they get the decap, he might just have enough time to get the cap for himself as well. Rom now in the middle of this fight, he's got so many condis on him. He's going to be able to cleanse a couple of those away though. He's going to be able to be okay in this one, at least for now, and he does have a teammate with him. And look at this, just diving around the map. Clearly he's been practicing his aerobics right now, because he is flipping left, right and center. But Mancow heading back over towards the mine, and just about everyone on the map heading over towards the mine right now. Looks like we're going to have pretty much a 4v4 bloodbath going on at this node, but looks like in fact they decide to back away from this.
They're trying to take out the Oracle as fast as possible here. We've seen the time walks coming out as well on the map on this mine node, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, as rank 55 Dragons are... Whoa, we actually see Mancal going down as well over on the other side of the map, as we see the possible res coming out from the Oracle, but he's way too low to go for that, and they do finish him off in the end. He actually goes into downstate as well, and Orange Logo do potentially... Oh no, Tixby trying to go for the res there, almost gets it as well. Orange Logo just dipping off of him there for a second, and now they're starting to get a little bit of momentum onto the map, but they need to hip someone over towards mid. But also watch out for the respawns coming out, as Mancal comes out into the map, of course, as I'm pointing on the map just at the moment and not looking at too much, because I'm looking at that map control. Texby low HP as well. If they can take him down, they could really almost pull out the impossible, but they are getting decapped here. We got the port coming out. Frostball realizes that's happening.
Oh, it's too late. He just goes back through.
Yeah,
don't care.
Just at that point in time, it might have been good to just keep it sustained, but they want to roll off and get the decap and the kills here, which might help to snowball the map back into their favor. But they need to do it so quickly so that the Oracle can't move back to mid. But the problem is I think he's actually got... No, we see some movement from Rom. Rom made it back over there. I did miss that, unfortunately. Farrell's drops quite low as well, as Mancal does just drop out of there, as he gets quite a lot of focus on it.
Yeah, look at the health bars right now for rank 55. There's a lot of people below half HP. If they can finish any of these guys off, if Texby can go down here, this could be the opportunity for Orange Logo to get back into this game. They are 300 points down right now, and they've got to get this kill onto Texby. They do, and look at this, they might just get the wipe. Zan incredibly low. Mancow in downstate already. Zan just trying to escape this swan. The assault is going to come out from Feroz, though, the Berserker Amulet paying dividends right now. And immediately they head over towards the henge. They've got the cap on the keep right now, if they just keep that one Mesmer there. And look at this, immediately we see a Revenant duel going on in the middle of no man's land, just denying anyone getting to these points right now. This is perfect for Orange Logo. They still have 6 minutes on the clock. If they can play this out right, they can still come back into this game.
They really
cannot lose henge though.
They can't lose it. But the thing is, the great thing is that Zan is downstated over towards the midpoint. We saw the portal coming out just in case he was going to be able to res up by someone, but they know that, you know, on the map at the moment, they're okay. But Farrell goes down over on the henge. This is unexpected. And he does get finished off. The advantage that they had has been taken away. But of course, you know, they had to dip someone over to mid. And it feels like, you know, the advantage here comes out for Dragons. And they're going to get the respawns on the side of the map as well. And even though they are outnumbered, they're able to hold their own and move back into the map and regain control. And Orange Logo need to pull back here, but their only option there was to push so they could come back significantly in this game. And now if they can hold the nodes, they should be okay. Good phase retreat from Frostball means he's able to get back up to mid as well. Texby dashing over towards this side of the map is going to enable them to possibly get the decap. Farrell's just staying on node, keeping it in control, but Syndra drops so low as well, but Rom's here for defense.
Okay, so Orange Logo, they still have the 2 cap right now, but if the caps stay as they are, then rank 55 will hit 500 before Orange Logo catch up, so they have to get the D cap right now, or they have to go on a crazy killing spree and kill all the bosses and everything. But right now, they got to get the D cap on the hinge. They cannot afford to just allow that point. Yeah. Right now, they can't give rank 55 anything. They have to be in complete control. Levitt is going to go down. This is perfect for them, but the res is going to come through. And rank 55 stay in this fight. They're going to be able to stay on this node, but they can't get the decap just yet. That is crucial right now. The keep as well, still in favor of Orange Logo, so they are racking up these points.
Look at the HP. Farrell goes down, and then we're going to see Syndra drop as well downstate, and Rom is going to follow very quickly after, surely. And that's got to be the end of Orange Logo's hopes and dreams on this forest map as 3 members get taken out here. Then she is left alone in the wind to try and hold on to that node as Frostball comes back in to try and make sure they can defend this, but they're not going to win, surely, as we go 450. Time is running out. The points are running out as we hit towards 500 points for rank 55 Dragons. Dinshi is going to be raised back up here, but it's 4-0, and Orange Logo have learned a lot from this game, but rank 55 Dragons have done a fantastic job at holding the points they have and doing a good job at just making sure they can get this in the bag heading into the next game of this series.
Yeah, I think one thing to bear in mind here is like quite how well Orange Logo came back into this game, because at one point rank 55 had a 3 cap and a whole heck of a lead over Orange Logo. And while they are going to be finishing around 150, 200 points ahead of their opponents, Orange Logo did an incredibly good job to actually get something on the board. They managed to get a 2 cap for themselves. They managed to have control of the map in general. Unfortunately, it was kind of too little too late here. But nonetheless, this could be good. This could be a sign of things to come for Orange Logo. And as well, this is only game 1 of a best of 3. Orange Logo still have the opportunity to pull themselves back into this series. But by the looks of things, with 15 points remaining for them to get in just 3 minutes on the clock, rank 55 Dragons are going to be able to finish this one off. Mankau is going to be able to get that res there, going to be able to keep himself alive. Even if they can just get a kill at this stage, they're going to be able to end the game. Zan, despite being a pirate, he's losing out in that duel. All that sword play over the years is not paying him much of a use because, I mean, well, he's an engineer anyway. They don't typically use those swords. But, I mean, pistols, that's kind of piratey, I guess. But anyway, that is going to be the game for rank 55 Dragons. But there we go. So, game 1 over to rank 55 Dragons. Skynet in the lead right now, and Flower Power, unfortunately, wilting under the sun. The giant cybernetic sun made of nuclear radiation and other robotic things. I don't even know what I'm saying right now, but rank 55. They are 1-0 up in this series. I'll tell you what, we have a Christmas,
we have a New Year's, and Joe goes up on stream.
I don't think I was ever not balmy, to be fair. I think.
Yeah, true.
But anyway, we are going to be heading on to our second... Yeah, that's true. That is very true. We're going to be heading on to our second map, which is going to be Legacy of the Faux Fire. Now, I mean, looking at what happened in that last game, what do Orange Logo need to do to pull themselves back into this series? What do they need to do to push this into a 3-game series?
I mean, you can think of it in another way as well, of the experience that these guys have. You know, Texby has got a bit more experience on Mesmer, but plays supportive builds or... you know, I'm not going to say mobile builds because obviously, you know, Syndra does as well, but plays those kind of roles quite a lot. And I'm not sure how long Syndra been playing Mesmer. Now, these guys have been keeping things so close to their chests recently, these guys in the Pro League, just in case any smidgen of information gets out about their builds and about their comps, because they know how important things are going at the moment. So, you know, it's difficult to kind of think and actually know how... you know, capable Syndra is at Mesmer. He's doing a fantastic job. You saw in that early split there, he was on a 1v2 for a while. Orange Logo couldn't take advantage of that, unfortunately, as well. I'm not sure how well the power rev is working out for them in this mix-up. Maybe, you know, going for the double Condi would be a little bit more beneficial. Especially since there's no, there's no Elementalist on that side. Obviously, got Condi removal coming out from the Mesmers. Obviously, we've got Null Fields coming out. But they've got Blink, so the portals are working well for Orange Logo, but they've not got enough of the cooldowns. And they're able to get their Blinks back. So independently, those Mesmers over on rank 55 have more mobility in the end, although we've got the whole team change up through portals for Orange Logo as well. But what they're going to opt for in this game, maybe we can go into game and actually have a look at the builds as well, and we can just double check to see if they are going to be running portals and Blinks. And
yeah, we should be able to head into game right now and take a look at those builds, see what these players are going to be running on this map as we head into the second map of this series. Let's take a look at what these guys are going to be bringing to the table, see if we get any changes to the builds or whether we're going to be running the same two strategies that we saw in the last game.
Yeah, I mean, Sin looks like he's going for the portals again. I mean, portals on this map, we've seen some good Lord Rushes from Orange Logo and from rank 55 Dragons, to be honest, with portals, of course, ever since Frostball came into the team. I still remember that Go For Cup with Frostball when they were potentially losing a fight and they had downstated players rezzed up and moved to a Lord kill, and a very, very different kind of meta that we had a while ago, just before the Pro League side as well. So, you can never count Orange Logo out, no matter what the past has brought us. Which is why they're so exciting to watch. And also rank 55 Dragons, they've been so fantastic to watch in the Pro League as of late. Not even as of late, as from the start and from towards the end of the Go4s as well as the monthlies. They're putting some great performances, especially, after a couple of players broke away from the Civilized Gentlemen, of course, after WTS. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this second game. I'm really interested to see what Orange Logo are going to use in terms of how they're going to use their portals and their play, and whether or not we are going to see Power Rev still. Zerka, yeah. I mean, Farrell was staying up quite well, really. I mean, I know we've got the two Mesmers, but still, I mean, the support from Rom enables him to be sustained as well, as long as they're in the similar kind of position. Obviously, regen, protection, and resistance coming out from the shatters as well of the Mesmers is really going to help those guys to survive. I mean, there's so much strength with this build at the moment. You really can see it when you go through the shatters as well. And another thing is the gravity wells. Have a look how many gravity wells we've got. We've got 2, so that's 4 when they get continue and split off as well. And then we've got the time warp coming out and the gravity well from Orange Logo. So, there are some significant changes in their Mesmers, some significant differences, sorry.
Yeah, there are indeed. And I mean, let's get everything underway. Let's kick this game off and see whether the sort of double gravity well is going to be able to take the lead against that time warp coming out from Orange Logo so far.
So you saw it there. I mean, if you can get rid of that stability through Nullfield and just rip it off and then pull them down into that gravity well, and you've got 2 Mesmers and you're in a massive team fight, which isn't happening all the time, then you can really control that fight into your favor. Of course, you can grab some stability if you've got shadows left as well. If you time it and your timing is on, you can really finish those fights quite quickly and effectively.
Yeah, you absolutely can. And immediately we see both of these teams sprinting across the map. It's going to be sending one player from Orange Logo, the Druid, over towards the quarry. 3 going towards the middle of the map right now. 1 ready to react, and it looks like they are going to immediately change down towards that quarry. So it's a 2 versus 2. 1 versus 1 over at the waterfall. A couple of players deciding which one to go to. It looks like that is going to be, again, we saw this earlier, 2 versus 2 at each of the side points and then 1 versus 1 in the middle. But Sin is already feeling a whole lot of damage right now over towards the waterfall. A big fight already kicking off. Yeah,
Syndrome just popping down his Nullfield as well to try and get rid of some of those conditions as it continues to tick over. And there you go, there's the gravity well. He has to get out of it immediately, going for the phase retreat there as well. And he's going to be okay as well as he picks out the shield, gets some nice line of sight. Now, Syndrome knows these maps like the back of his hand, they all do, but does a fantastic job of surviving. And he's proving how quickly he's picked up this build and how well he's playing it as well. I mean, you could say it's a bunker support build. It sounds obvious, but in Pro League, in top tier play, when you're picking up a build again for the first time in such a small amount of time as well, to play it that well is really, really a credit to him.
It absolutely is. And I mean, we've seen there's quite a few players that are just kind of head and shoulders above the rest, just really, really strong players and able to adapt. That's the key thing. And as we see the balance patch coming in towards the finals, that's going to be a key on how fast these teams can adapt and who's going to be the teams that are able to swap up their playstyle. But here we go, Denshi is in a little bit of trouble. He's only on 6k HP, and actually he's falling incredibly low, incredibly fast. Didn't have the hibernation that was on cooldown, but the res, no, the execute comes out. Rank 55, take the point advantage with that kill. Well. The gravity well comes out. Can they do anything with this one? Sin just trying to escape right now, trying to do what he can, but by the looks of things, Rank 55 are going to take control of the waterfall, and that is going to be the first node captured of the game. Again, in favor of Rank 55. Sin just doing his very best to survive right now.
He's really low. He needs to get out of here. He uses his last shadow. He has continuous split left up. He needs to pop off his heal. He does get it off indeed. He's not going to have that available again, unfortunately, as he's got the pull, wondering whether or not he's going to take it. He is. Wow, again? They've actually completely let him go over to that side of the map. And he might even grab the full cap. We've seen this happen again. No, he knows that he's going to be able to get on position because I feel like, you know, still the Oracle is using Blink and he gets back over towards this midpoint. So the decap happens and Orange Logo sustained back on the map. But look at Waterfall just left because they know how important this big team fight is. Syndranir drops quite low, but so does Mancal on this midpoint. Syndranir can regenerate himself quite well, but so can Mancal. Pressure comes out onto him, heal comes out as well. And this is an important amount of pressure that comes onto Mancal. Oh, we're going to see the res coming out. Tech Spear's on the other side of the map. My apologies there. And we are going to see Mancal just about getting up, but the Oracle gets really punished. And they need to stay on him. He pulls out the heal. I think he gets interrupted there as well. But look at Syndranir going down. We are going to see the Oracle dropped. No one's in position to res. Mancal goes for it, but that's too much and he drops.
They reach too far. Oracle reached too far to try and res Mancal, and now Mancal is going to be punished for it as well. That's 2 down for Rank 55. Zan as well, incredibly low. And this could be really bad news for them. Orange Logo, they've got the cap on the graveyard. They're ahead in points right now. So far, they're doing a perfect job to just keep Quarry neutral. And right now, with 1 apiece, they're managing to tie this up. If they can get a decap on anything right now, they're going to be absolutely in a phenomenal position. But Rank 55, it's not often that we see them losing out in a team fight like that.
Not really, but the thing is, I don't think Orange Logo took full advantage of that, especially on respawn. They're moving very slowly over towards this quarry node, and Rank 55 just kind of backed off a bit, you know, because for good reason. And actually, Zan now moves back into the midpoint, very low HP himself. Does have that sneak gyro out, so sometimes he's getting that stealth off, and able to be 100% focused here, but needs to be careful as he gets dropped low. And Frostball does go down as well. Syndranir is running into the point as fast as possible. No gravity well to drop off some kind of CC there, unfortunately, and he is going to be completely finished off there, demoted from life. And Mancal now about 50% HP. They need to pick up the kill on him. He's the weak link here, and that's just because he's a Revenant, and he needs to be going for that damage, of course, as he backs off. But Dinch goes into downstate here as well. Will be finished off. Pharaoh as well falls, and that's a massive thing to happen over on this midpoint at the moment as well. As Frostball, are they going to feed the node? That is the question.
Yeah, and I mean, I said it's not often the Rank 55 lose a team fight, and immediately they say, you're damn right. Just take a 3-kill victory. They take they should be able to take the graveyard for themselves, as well as we see the last couple of members just trying to escape right now. Look at this, though. We do have a sneaky little Revenant heading over towards the waterfall. Actually, Dinch changing his mind in the end there. I thought he was going to go try and get the decap onto the waterfall. Not going to be able to get it. He's going to be able to deny the cap on the graveyard, though. So at least denying any kind of snowball coming out from Rank 55 Dragons. And again, the fight just immediately kicks off. Frostball going to be the focus target right now as he just tries to kite around and keep himself alive. But it's not going to be good enough right now. Drops into that downstate. The execute is channeling, and it looks like Frostball is going to go down. No res available, and yet another kill comes across for Rank 55 Dragons. Dinch now just trying to survive as Syndranir enters the fight as well. They're managing to at least keep this point neutral, but the quarry has now been taken by Rank 55. Instead, they lost the waterfall, but easily traded it for a different side point.
It feels there what they were trying to do was, while Syndranir got the decap, they were just trying to run around the edges, you know, and just trying to keep the point contested. Like you said, eventually they've got control over on this waterfall, as we've seen Portal coming out, obviously, as well. Now, both Revenants going over towards mid, and we've got the very tanky characters playing on this side of the map as well. Dinshi and Feral's come in as well, and we've seen the team fight situation being won sometimes by Orange Logo. We saw that get a couple of kills earlier, and it happens again. Mancal, now they're hoping to bounce off this kills, which is why they're so good at this. But again, of course, you know, we've got the Mesmers coming into this fight to get the rest. But Levin falls as well, almost. Mancal is completely demoted from life there as we move over towards potential over on the quarry. It feels like Red Team, Orange Logo need to push this now because they can get this decap happening, because we're going to have blue team respawns. They need to act on it now, though.
They do indeed. Levin finally goes down. The execute did come out there. Zan and Oracle as well. Not really doing too well in terms of HP. Zan is finally going to get locked up, and they might just be able to finish him. He can't escape, but he's going to be able to dodge around, and actually, he is going to be able to get away from that one. But Oracle, in the meantime, everybody's changed focus onto him, and he's just going to have to try and escape from the point. But Zan is back on the node to stop the cap. And look at this. Just keep on switching who's in the point, but make sure you deny the cap. Beautiful play coming out from rank 55 just to make sure that despite losing a couple of members, they don't lose the fight entirely. Now, Oracle, again, just going to try and back away from this one. He should be able to do so as well, but he's running out of cooldowns right now. He's stacking the boons indeed.
They're just trying to, Orange Logo are holding this very well at the moment, but rank 55 played that excellent. You see, Oracle was defending Zan with his life there. Just making sure, pulling out the shield abilities to make sure that he's able to bring out some kind of boons for him as well as the stuns. Unfortunately, we can see Gravity Well coming out to Zan. Goes into Elixir S proc on 25% health. Hey, Oracle's very low himself as well. They're just training both of them down at the same time. So if Zan goes down, Oracle's going to go in for the res, which means if he does that, he's going to get so pressured that he's going to be killed. Even if he gets the res off, they're going to take a lot of HP off him as well. It's the potential decap here. Rom should be able to get this after a while. Might take a little bit of time here. We are going to see Zan going into the downstate res, of course, almost inevitable, but you can see the pressure that came out onto the Oracle. But he starts to build up those boons again, has some cooldowns, has his blink, and gets out of there with a phase retreat, operating into a situation where he needs to be with Levin to make sure they can hold this node now.
Yeah, and they are going to be able to do so. So yet again, both side points captured one apiece right now. Interestingly, neither team having their home point right now, but the 2v1 going out here. Sin in a little bit of trouble, but he immediately gets reinforcements coming through in the form of Dinch. But are they going to be able to do anything with this? Because Sin is still incredibly low. He has to be very careful not to go too deep into this fight again. Does have a couple of cooldowns available, as you say. Also has Time Warp up as well, so should be just about okay in this one. Just kiting around. Oh, he stepped on the oil, though. Did fall over, but he's going to be just about all right there.
Yeah, Slick Shoes came out very well, but you know the defense came in, but he does go down in the end. And now Dinshi is going to have a decision to make. Does he go for the rest? He does, and there's not enough pressure coming out from the guys there. They had no downcleave, unfortunately, in the end to make sure they could finish him off and keep it in their favor. Zan stays on point, and Syndrome, the guys almost dropped off no too much there to lose it. And now Orange Logo, look where they're pushing onto the map currently at the moment. We're at a point score of 195 to 254 with 5 minutes left in the game. Do they want to try and stick over on this side of the map for a potential Lord push or even a distraction for that as well? As we go into mid, you can see the kill coming out on the map as well as Ferals does respawn. But now we need to make sure, for Orange Logo's sake, that they can hold these caps the way they are. But losing bodies now as Rom goes down over on the midpoint and is completely finished off. Zindranir is dropping quite low. This is a bad point of the game for this to happen. Yeah. They need to stay up. They need to make a decision. He ports back over towards the other side of the map now as well, of course, because Levin is there to actually try and get the decap, and actually members are coming over towards this point to support, and that's a gutsy good move from Orange Logo there, especially if Ferals and Frostball can sustain mid. This has worked out for them extremely well.
It really has, and Orange Logo somehow managing to live through that one. They are going to be able to keep their side point, but look at this. There's two over at the waterfall for either team. The quarry completely empty, and look at this. Just complete chaos over towards the graveyard. We do see Oracle charging back in to make sure that there cannot be decap.
Very well.
The damage coming through, but it's not quite enough, and Sin is still just holding on to his life over in that 2 versus 2. This feels like an endless 2v2 over towards the waterfall, but the 3v3 over in mid as well. Feroz starting to feel the pressure. He's incredibly low. Is he going to go into downstate? He is. Can they get the res though? That's the question. They're trying to get it through. The quickness is going to be there, and they're getting back onto his feet. Sin though as well is going to go down into that downstate. Can they get the res off? We do see Dinch trying to get the res, and he is going to be able to get it as well. So no matter how much pressure rank 55 put out, they're somehow managing to cling on. Orange Logo are still in this game, but they are 60 points down. They've got to make something happen.
Orange Logo are in the best position at the moment in this map because of, you know, that main reason. Oh, I'm not getting that kill as well. To be honest, it feels almost like as if they didn't get the kills, they'd be in a better position for a Lord Rush, because if we're going 3 minutes to the end of the game, Orange Logo have pushed all the way over towards their Lord. Rank 55 know this. This Orange Logo have got them in a position they want to have them in. You know, maybe even earlier in the game as well, but they're in the position. 11 goes into downstate. We're likely going to see a kill. They've turned things around on this side of the map. Are they going to be able to get it? They've not got enough cleave. They need to just go for the down as well. So pull out Blurred Frenzy, and he's going to get back up as well. And Zan gets so low because of that res, but really makes a great decision and just determination to get him back up. But look, rank 55 has started to do the same thing. They've pushed to the side node, and now it almost feels like we're going to see a double Lord Rush potentially, maybe, because Orange Logo have to. They have to go for it, mate, at the moment to make sure they can come back. We've only got 2 minutes left on the map.
The thing is, if we get the double Lord Rush and they both manage to get it, Feroz in a whole lot of trouble. That is going to be the quarry in favor of rank 55. Dinch goes down as well. This is bad news for Orange. They can't afford to lose players this late into the game. Sin trying to get the res off. He's channeling as fast as he can. It looks like he might just be able to get it unless the execute comes out now, but he can't quite get it. The cleave is too much and Sin has to retreat from that one. But he himself has found himself incredibly low. Dinch still just bleeding out here. They've not even finished him off. They've just left him to die there. Sin as well, just trying to survive, but Orange, they can't afford to lose moments. Frostball managing to get the res here, but Sin is down. They need to get over to Sin. If they can get that res, they're still in this game. Sin slowly but surely bleeding out. He goes down. The execute came through in the end. It's 5 versus 4. Rank 55 with a 70-point advantage. The gates are already down over towards the red side of the map. Can a Lord Rush come through here?
Oh, Dishy's going for the door, and he's got condition damage. That's the desperation, obviously power damage as well. Rom is thinking about the cap there. Are we going to see a Lord Rush here? You see the single man. There is no portal, though, and Oracle does go for the initiate onto the Lord as he gets some kind of support coming out from Mancal. Now, who's going to win this? But we are going to see Dinchy has been brought back up over towards this side of the map. 1 minute left in the game. The gate is open. People are starting to charge back into this Lord Rush. If Orange Logo can get the Lord, they can actually, Mancal going down over towards the Lord. That means the rank 55 have to defend. But Dinchy goes into the downstate here as well. Rom drops low. If he goes down here, their Lord Rush will be completely defended, and they defeated. And now Rom going down as well means that Orange Logo have not got long to pull it out, and they've got 40 seconds. It's not going to happen maybe at this point in time,
got the
unfortunately. But no, Waterfall gets decapped because they've been able to defeat them. It's over. It feels like 30 seconds. Surely this is not possible right now.
Orange Logo so close to glory right there. Absolute chaos as both teams try and pressure the Lord.
But look.
And successfully defending. Zan just chilling there at the Lord, making sure that nothing too crazy can come out from Orange Logo right now. He knows that in those last 10 seconds, you do not want to lose that Lord. But 8 seconds left on the clock.
They're really desperate now.
They're going for it, but they've only got 4 seconds. They do not have time to go for this one. That is going to be game, and it is going to be ranked 55. Dragons taking that one 2-0. But I mean, 2-0 as a scoreline does not do justice to that series because Orange Logo played their hearts out.
Wow. The meta has not changed that much between this week and the last week before Christmas. I mean, some changes which have, possibly changed up comps, as we've seen today, 2 Mesmer's comps coming out. But those games were really exciting, even with that res potential that comes out. Okay, we've been seeing more kills, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of, because the meta has been like, because the meta's been this way for a while now, teams have, they know their limits at this point. They know how much damage they can do. They know how much they can take. So you can make these riskier plays. And we have seen quite a lot of risky plays. And I've loved the amount of plays that we've seen come out with portals. I think that's been a really key factor today in general, just going back for those decaps, going for those caps across the map with those portals. And it's something that we've seen a lot more today than I think we've seen typically throughout the Pro League, or at least it's been counted in the past. We've seen a lot more kind of slip through the filter, as it were, in these games today. I think we've seen 3 or 4 actually decaps coming out from portals. So, but yeah, I mean, as the teams get used to the meta, obviously they are going to get better at it, and we can see that. I mean, utter bloodbath that game was. In the current meta, you wouldn't have expected that kind of game to come out. But rank 55, in the end, managing to edge that one and take the series 2-0.
I mean, you know, Orange Logo were in such a good spot there. But rank 55, they had the right members defending at the very least. I mean, you know, the Oracle was pushing there to tank, to defeat, you know, to distract as well from their Lord Rush, to bring back people. So they, you know, Orange Logo really didn't have their biggest damage dealers there. I think Dinchi was over at the Lord Rush. We saw Pharaoh obviously was respawning. They lost people at the wrong time, and that game would have completely been, it might have been completely different if we'd seen, you know, Sin, I think it was Sin, sorry, and Pharaoh not going down there, unfortunately. No, we saw Frostball running over towards Waterfall, picking him up. But, you know, the right people weren't there to go for the push, unfortunately, at that time. And rank 55, you know, almost feels as if they just went for that push themselves to distract those members from going from that Lord Rush. You know, so they had to just try and think of something else to do because, you know, Pharaoh would have got there in the end, obviously. And, yeah, I think, you know, I'm coming back after Christmas and going into that series after, you know, casted last time before Christmas, it's, yeah, kind of done me in. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was an intense. My throat's actually a bit after that series, but it is a 2-0 victory in the end. We're going to go and get some water for ourselves, but do not go anywhere because in just a couple of minutes, we're going to have TCG up against Vermilion. This is the series to watch. TCG are 3-1 on the scoreboard, but that has not knocked their confidence at all. Vermilion, they are 4-0, one of our top 2 teams currently. We'll see if they can maintain that position. We'll be back in just a few. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the ESL Guild Wars 2 Pro League. My name is Munchables, and joining me once again is Jebro. And we're going to be heading into our fourth and final best of three of the night, and what a best of three this is going to be. I think we should bring up our standings for the night one last time, just to take a look at how the rest of the evening has panned out, and then we'll get on to the topic at hand, which is TCG versus Vermilion. But we saw 2-0 in favor of Chaotic Contingency, 2-0 in favor of Car Crash, 2-0 in favor of Rank 55 Dragons. And now let's see if we're going to see a fourth 2-0. TCG up against Vermilion. TCG with a 3-1 scoreline so far. Vermilion without a loss just yet. Rank 55 also were on 4-0, now 5-0. Vermilion have to win this one to stay tied for first position. TCG, however, if they can beat Vermilion, they're going to be tied for that second position with Vermilion.
It's a really, really important series. It's one of the most, in fact, this day has been one of the most important of the Pro League so far. And, you know, as well as the last week, next week's a little bit different. Potential upsets could mean something different happens in the last week, of course, because we got, again, that situation of pre-qualified versus already qualified early in the Pro League. But this series is just going to be, I just want to get in there and cast it, because it's just going to be so exciting. To see whether or not, you know, what's TCG going to be running. You know, we saw a double Mesbo comp coming out from rank 55, of course, rank 55 Dragons. And maybe we're going to see that as well. You know, Orange Logo bringing that out as well is a very strong combination with opting for that Ranger. Maybe it was difficult at times to work out where they were going to place him, Rom. But, you know, we saw it almost work out for them in that second game where they really got to grips with it. So I'm really excited to see who is going to take this, because if TCG don't win this series, that's a really massive.
Yeah, it is as well, because, I mean, especially TCG and specifically Helseth have a reputation of being very confident and kind of not being afraid to show it either.
Well, I mean, Helseth is TCG, you know. I mean, we've got other players, but he's always, this is his team name.
Yeah.
This is his team, and that comes along with it, you know. Those guys have to be almost in a similar mindset as well to him. Especially now with that confidence today, they've got to really bring it. And I feel like Vermilion could be quite nervous maybe today about this series.
Yeah, I'm curious as to how each of these teams plays this game, because, I mean, TCG, they kind of play it as confidently as they talk. They play very, very kind of in your face. They're not afraid to go for those aggressive plays. And that's something we see from rank 55 Dragons as well. Vermilion, I don't feel, is as much of an aggressive team in that. When we see them win, they're very solid victories, don't get me wrong. They are a very, very strong team. But their playstyle is much more like, okay, we've got 2 caps, let them have the third one, we'll just bunker up on these and just slowly but surely win the game that way. So I feel like it's also not just sort of a clash of titans, but also a clash of playstyles coming in here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, TCG have always had that, or Helseth specifically, you know, talks about chess and tactical gameplay and mind games, you know, keeping them in a situation and maybe even giving them false morale sometimes so they can replay the map and put them in position where they need them to be. So, you know, TCG, again, one of those teams that when they're on the losing end of things, always looking for those little players, you know, those little portal plays potentially, or just the movement out the map, because I feel like Vermilion could get locked down potentially in a situation where they feel like they're being very aggressive and they're doing quite well, and TCG will just pick it apart slowly, you know, and they'll just, you know, they'll rotate around the map, or they'll change the situation up, where Vermilion won't be able to be as reactive potentially as TCG would be in a similar situation.
Well, we'll have to see if that's going to be the case. And I mean, honestly, I'm finding this one really hard to call as to who takes it, because, I mean, we've already spoken about playstyles, we've already spoken about the individual personalities of the teams, but I think the key thing is coming into this season of the Pro League, Vermilion weren't a team that was kind of hyped up to be one of the top 2s. This wasn't a scenario that we were kind of anticipating at the start of the Pro League. So it's kind of uncharted territory that we're stepping into.
They were underdogs at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I would still say they are, because, you know, they're in that situation now where they are against, you know, one of the best teams in the world, which is what they are now as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. And everywhere, like, the map is quiet. There's not much going on. Maybe map chat, so I ain't got it on. But you know, there's no one in the game at the moment. No one's even moving into the map because you can see builds and stuff. So everyone's being very calm and very collected at the moment. And I'm trying to be. Because I'm currently I'm in this situation where, you know, it reminds me of many casts. You know, I've been casting Guild Wars 2 PvP now for like 2 or so years. I've been, you know, World Tournament Series and everything like that. And it's that same feeling of, you know, hype and anticipation, and you know, there's no crowd here. I wish there was, because this is going to be, I feel like this is going to be a good one, and it can really open, it can make that free positions, it's going to be, you know, a little bit more open between Vermilion and TCG.
Right now, I'm exactly like I was 3 weeks ago, like a kid on Christmas morning, quite literally. But we are ready to head onto the map. Everybody has jumped aboard, and let's head into this game, and let's take a look at what builds these guys are going to be bringing to the table. Let's start off with TCG.
Right, Draz is going to be pulling out the Scrapper, of course, going for the E-Gun with Hammer, of course, as well as the Slick Shoe Standard, everything there as well. Let's just have a quick look at his traits to see if that's going to be the regular build as well. It is going to be. Frey is going to be playing Revenant here as well. I was wondering, who is going to play second Mesmer if there's going to be a second Mesmer? It's not going to be Frey, though, because Frey is going to be going for Condi Rev here, and we're going to see that Lord Asura playing Elementalist. So Elementalist, you know, we've seen, I haven't really spoken about this today, actually, funnily enough, because we haven't seen as many of them, but Ellie has fallen out at the moment, which is kind of fairly predictable. If you're going to replace anything on your team with a Mesmer, it's going to be your Ranger or it's going to be your Ellie. And since TCG didn't have a Ranger, it might as well be the Ellie, right? And he's really, really effective always in these support roles. And he's, of course, going to be rolling with that Soldier's Amulet. We've talked about Soldier's Amulet being the power stat as the main stat there, and then the rest of it being toughness and vitality. So he's still very tanky, but offers a lot of pressure. And then we've got another Condi Rev. So double Condi Rev NG with the 2 Mesmer Bunker supports. Then we're going to go over to Vermilion. They're rolling as well. Again, Snowball was playing Elementalist before. They replaced him, and he's going to be playing Mesmer as well. But first of all, we're going to go to Triffin now. He's playing Power Rev with Zerka as well. Similar build, to Pharaoh. RG is going to be RG the King. we got the Lord Helseth. RG wants to be the king.
He's battling for titles right now.
He's looking pretty
He's looking pretty
right
swag
now.
as well. He looks like a king. Loving the shades.
But look what he's playing. He's playing Mesmer. Now, I was just automatically going to say, without even looking at anything, because I've never seen him playing anything else other than Engineer, and he's going to be playing on the Mesmer as well, of course. Sometimes we see some changes around these traits between Illusionary Defense and Master Manipulation there. Everything else is pretty. We get Soldiers. Now, he's going Sentinels there, so that's a very interesting choice. But we can see the Soldier's Amulet coming out from Snowball. Then we're going to go over towards Alcor. We've got Blink there, so I just want to double check onto RG. He's got Blink. Check these Mesmers. Blink, blink, blink. There we go. Alcor, he's going to be running with the Druid, of course. He's going to be going for Signet of Stone, though, as well, because we've still got some power damage coming out. Drazir, of course, along with the Mesmers. We've got some Condi coming out from Frey. And Kaz's there as well. As we go over to Curve, who's going to be playing Revenant. He's going to be going for Condi as well. So,
yeah. So once again, we're going to see a double Gravity Well here coming out from TCG, and that's going to be up against the Time Warp and Gravity Well from Vermilion. We'll see which one is going to be able to come out on top. But as well, once again, we've got 2 Mesmers, we've got 2 Revenants, and then we have Skynet versus Flower Power. We've got a Skynet on the side of TCG.
You're not giving this one fire.
The side of I feel like Vermilion is a good name for Flower Power as well. But anyway, let's get into this game. I'm going to type that we are ready. We're going to be able to get this one underway. TCG up against Vermilion. This is a much anticipated matchup. I cannot wait to see what is going to come of this one. Make sure you tweet hashtag GW2PL, the Guild Wars 2 Pro League, and let us know who you think is going to be able to take this series. But we're ready to get onto the map. 5 seconds until we get this one underway, and we'll see how these teams decide to split up their forces as we kick everything off. Drazza going to go off towards the henge. We'll see if anyone decides to stop him. Looks like they are just going to run straight on past the sneak gyro coming out there to make sure he can get past undetected, and he's going to look to try and contest the henge. Should be able to get there to deny the cap to kick things off. And the same should happen over at the mine. Actually, I don't know if he gets there. The cap comes out.
He's still stealthed as well. So there was that was a little bit of the problem as well. He didn't have that, so he could get onto the point in time, you know. Still grabbing a little bit of stealth, obviously, when you're out of that field. They're going for the damage now on Helsef, who's actually been pinned right into the corner up top there. Nice gravity well comes out. We're going to see the null field coming out as well. He's going to be okay for now. Still has shield and also Blurred Frenzy, which has popped out. He's going to have to use that fourth skill, he does indeed, to make sure and give himself a little bit of room to get back out of that. Procs back up as well and back into staff. Does phase retreat back up to top, so that's a good job from him and gets out of harm's way. Curve trying to get the port here. He can't get it as he's in that position where you don't think he's going to be able to get up there. RG low on the over towards the mine, but uses that opportunity and in a low state of health potentially as well. And he's going to grab the decap there as well. Helsef is dropping very low here. He's almost in downstate there. Does use the distortion and Blurred Frenzy and gets out just in the nick of time. And we are going to see him going back down onto this node to make sure they can try and get the red down onto Alcor. Alcor does get back up here and guards over towards the henge because they've missed out on the engineer going for that decap, of course.
Yeah, and there's been 2 decaps across the map as well, so nobody with a point right now. Only 10 points difference, which really at this stage is not a whole lot, but we are going to see Kraz's up against...
This is big. Frey going down over there. Helsef can't get anywhere near him. Are they going to go for the kill on him? That would be really, really big. Or are they going to go for the +1 over on mid? Get the quick kill down onto Asura. That would be good. But Helsef's going to come in for this 2v2 here. And we're going to see both Mesmers situated in the position, which is going to be very awkward. Now, we got this 1v1 on the other side of the map where Alcor really versus the engineer. He's going to be he's really going to be benefited here. So he needs support. Freylina going for a good decision in the +1 there. But we can see RG, they don't want to enter into a fight where they're versus a Mesmer. They know what's going to happen there, so they've backed off towards the mid, go to the Mesmers, try and win this fight, as we are going to see, obviously, on the map. A lot of the fighting is moving over towards this henge node.
Yeah, Snowball's been kind of abandoned over at the keep. He's in a 1 versus 2 right now, and he's not really feeling too great about that right now, but that is going to mean that the man advantage is going to be available over at the henge, but they still have a Mesmer just in the middle of the map. It looks like he's going to be going over towards the keep to try and save Snowball, but he might just be a little bit too late as Snowball is going to be dropped into downstate. The execute will be channeled. Can he get the res in time? Jumps in. Snowball dashes off to the side, trying to protect himself. The res is going to be channeled on, and Snowball gets back up onto his feet. Freylina goes down in the meantime, but the res immediately comes through as well. And it is just going to be the 1 cap still in favor of Vermilion.
Do you remember what I said before about the fact that, you know, even though the situation does look a little bit dire at the moment for TCG, they had 2 Mesmers over on midpoint, Vermilion. And that was really, really good for them. Now we're going to see them possibly get another kill over on midpoint. Again, forcing the Mesmers to mid. But still, TCG need to get something over here on the henge, and they need to start getting it quite quickly. But if they get the team wipe, they can snowball the map into their favor, which might actually start to happen now, especially if they get the kills on the Mesmers over on the midpoint. They're controlling their situation and their positioning extremely well at the moment. The Mesmer, of course, has to move over towards the mine point. And it's a good thing that he's running Blink, because otherwise that Rev would have been way ahead of him as well, and he's able to get on nodes. So now the Mesmers are switched over onto nodes on their own. They're out of the team fight, and look, in the end, slowly but surely, this team is going to go down. Alcor can't get to the res because he's actually got to heal himself back up. Curve going down quite low as well, and it feels like blue team need to get back to their Mesmers in the respective areas of the map. They need to do it now.
Yeah, they need to just kind of retreat and just regroup, work out what's going on, work out what TCG are trying to do right now. Snowball is incredibly low as well. He's over towards that mine, but he's going to be able to do okay for now. He's maintaining the cap, and that's the important thing here. Does have a teammate coming over. Alcor going to be able to single-handedly maintain that position right now as we see Snowball heading over towards the rest of the team. Freylina trying to escape as Curve did go down. And Triffin now in a 1 versus 2. And actually, everybody heading over towards this keep node right now. We are going to see a little bit of a bloodbath up there as the 2 members of Vermilion are going to be able to scare away the 2 members of TCG. And it looks like TCG pretty much going for a 4-man push on towards the keep. 3 of them actually just hanging around mid. Seem to be still deciding where they want to go with this.
I'm almost surprised that Curve didn't just go for the henge there, because he would have pulled Helseth out of the team fight situation, but now he's just bringing the Mesmer along with him. And over here on this node, actually, Vermilion would have been, you know, in a very beneficial situation, because they would have had the Mesmer here as well. Alcor goes into downstate, should be raised up quite easily. A Snowball is present on this side of the map. And now because of that, actually, as we go over towards the midpoint, Helseth has actually dropped over towards that node. So, you know, not too bad movement in the end. Triffin comes over towards midpoint. So make sure that Lord Asura and Helseth are going to remain. So, you know, they've switched it back the other way around. So now we've got almost a similar, very similar situation where the Mesmers are situated on mine, and now they need to think about their movement into the map. This is the situation we're talking about. How do they split effectively so that they get rid of the Mesmers out of some kind of situation in the 2v2 on this map to, you know, take some kind of advantage here. Although Karzez dropping very low, goes into downstate here. Are they going to be able to bring him back up? We've got Mesmers in position potentially, but no! The down comes out, demoted, taken out, and now Vermilion can push right on into that point, but Alcor has to be still on that side of the map. And actually, Dresdy does go into downstate. Of course, we've still got Mesmers alive over on this midpoint. Will they be able to hold it?
I don't know if they will be able to. The fight is going on over towards the keep. I feel like this was a good opportunity for Vermilion to just send one of the Mesmers over, get the decap on the henge, then pull straight back across. But looks like actually TCG, they're going to go for a 3-man push over towards the mine. They aren't finished just yet, but there is a Druid chilling there. Alcor is going to be more than happy to just sustain on that node and make sure it cannot be decapped right now. And TCG, I mean, we mentioned how they like to play mind games. They like to go for these rotations, but so far they've not really been able to really throw Vermilion for anything. Vermilion have just been reading them perfectly and making the correct counterplays. RG, though, is incredibly low. He has to start to kite around. He's just trying to sustain himself. He's going to drop, and Karzez should be able to finish him off. There's no one there to get the res, and that's the man advantage for TCG. Triffin now incredibly low as well if you look towards over the mine. In fact, no, he's over towards keep, and he's just going to have to back away. But that is going to be a 1 versus 1 now over towards the keep as everyone else heads over towards the mine now, I believe. And it is just going to be Snowball versus Draze.
So this is the difference here. Karzez is probably going to... definitely. If he can keep the Mesmer in a 1v1 over on that point, then he's doing a good job. We did see the down coming out over on this side of the map. Curve drove quite low himself as well. A Snowball is over on the midpoint, still struggling there. They need a Mesmer in this team fight situation. They did start to lose it before and had to withdraw, so they need to be very, very careful. Snowball still very low. That's why RG's gone over towards the midpoint. Can Vermilion get something out of this mid-node fight as well, as we start to see the health bars just going up and down, as we've got some audio mix going down on these guys at the moment, and really Alcor is doing an absolutely fantastic job in terms of the support for the team, and really they've got a great rotation going on here at the moment. Vermilion, they're just holding firm.
Yeah, beautiful stuff coming out from Vermilion there. As soon as you said they need...
He's down.
Oh, Freylina is going to go down. Helseth is incredibly low as well. Freylina doesn't look like the rest going to come through. Azura is going to fall. This is going to be a 3-man wipe coming out. Vermilion taking that team fight. They're going to secure themselves the mine, and immediately you see them rush across the map. They're going to look for where else they can take advantages. 250 points in their pockets. They're looking towards the keep. They're looking towards the henge. Immediately on the respawn, you see Freylina heading towards that mine point, but I don't think there's much that he's going to be able to do about that one.
They could not handle that pressure of the revs. They were always on the back foot of that. And that's a really great job. The mix of the power and mixed with the Condi was too much in the end.
As soon as Snowball entered that fight at the mine as well, that's when it all kicked off. The second they had that Mesmer to help them out, Draze now goes down as well. That's going to be another... I mean, crucially as well, when you get this many kills, those 5 points start to rack up, and you can start to see this difference. They're almost 100 points ahead of TCG right now. I mean, TCG have been so hyped up. Azura is going to go into downstate. There's no one there to get the res. And Mesmer teleporting in. I didn't quite see who that was. I don't think he gets the res. No, he doesn't. Helseth is there all alone right now as well, and he could be in a little bit of trouble. Immediately, we see Alcor retreating back to that mine. He's going to be able to make sure that that cannot be decapped, and they're just looking to try and get the keep. But even if they don't get the keep, they can just sustain this. There's It's only 5 minutes left, and they are 100 points ahead of TCG.
Yeah, I mean, they could definitely come back. If Alcohol gets killed right now, this is great for them. Snowball comes in, Alcohol tries to get the knockback. That's good, which coordinates up well with the res. He's still trying to go for it. You can see his HP is so close. Oh my God, they get the finish in the end. That's enough pressure. And that's what's good about these guys teaming up. Drezzy and also Freylina get enough damage pressure on that node. Karsis does go down mid. They equal things up. And we have seen the decap over on the other side of the map. So losing team members hasn't been too bad. Curve now separates the Lord of Surf from any kind of team fight situation. It doesn't feel like blue team will go over there. Look, Alcor's just going for the decap on the other side of the map, but we've seen the decap happen anyway. The good thing for TCG is currently they're going to be able to get some points back on the board. But slowly but surely that lead will diminish that Vermilion have, but they have 2 or 3 ticks left on this mid node as they pressurize Helsef off point, and he's going to be dropped very low-ish. Good shield play there from him. He's still got his heal back up. Continuing split heal, gets the heal back. There you go. It goes back to his HP before, so almost, you know, counters his own heal, unfortunately. But good job in the end.
This is going to be absolutely crucial right now. They have to get this keep point. Freylina goes down. Helseth is going to be there to try and get the res. But the execute comes out. Helseth is all alone now. If they can just get the cap onto keep, he manages to hold on. He jumps back in, but he's running out of cooldown and he's running out of HP right now. The keep should be captured any second, but Kazas has arrived on the scene. But look at his health bar drop. Kazas immediately falls. I mean, Helseth can't go for it. The tick... No, he didn't land.
Well.
Helseth managed to deny it.
Back. No, Helseth's playing it so expertly at the moment. He didn't want to go on node. He didn't want to get pressured. He played that for as long as he could. One cap comes back in favor. 80-point lead still for the team of Vermilion, and they are proving that they can pull it out of the bag. We're going to see the res coming out over on the other side of the map as well. Elixir S-Proc comes out to Drezzy. They push the mine, which counters any push from TCG currently. They need to get over towards this henge node, but also Vermilion need to watch mid as they start to retreat back to their point.
This is a really good spot for Vermilion. They're managing to pressure the henge as well. There's 1 point apiece. The res does come out, so it's going to turn that into a 2 versus 2, and that will go on for a little while, I feel. But look at this. They're going over towards the mine. Druid versus Engineer. Skynet versus Flower Power. I mean, Vermilion doing a phenomenal job so far in this game. They're 1 apiece in nodes, and actually it's starting to get a little bit too late for TCG right now. If something is going to happen, it has to happen now. They're almost 100 points down,
gonna get the
and they only have
here.
2.5 seconds left.
Alcor feels like Alcor could get the decap here. Of course, Drezzy has some stability with the Elixir's B as well with the toss. But at the moment, we're not seeing anything coming out from the team of TCG to change anything up other than the kill that just happened onto Triffin. So this is the start of something that could change things up. But 2 minutes, 20 seconds, 2 bosses left. That's 50 points. If they can get a significant wipe now onto Vermilion, which is happening. You can see their HP going down so low. RG is dropping like anything at the moment and really needs to hold on tight here. He goes for the Blurred Frenzy, which gives him some distance as well. Drops that Chaos Storm, gets a heal off, and he's going to have a shatter back as well to help him out. But now on point, we've seen Curve go down, and that was good movement from him, but he needs to get back onto the mode to keep it contested. Everything is contested. Vermilion have pushed sides, and now TCG going towards mid to potentially get the decap, but that leaves them out of a situation where they might not be able to take advantage of these team fights, and Vermilion can go sides and pick up these nodes. They picked up mine, and at this moment in time, Vermilion are probably going to upset TCG in this first game.
They are indeed, and that is going to be the cap. Once again, they're continuing to stack points, and the thing is, the last couple of minutes, while all of these fights have been going off, Vermilion had a cap, and TCG didn't. The lead was just increasing all of this time, and the keep has been countered as well. Look at the play coming out right now. Triffin is going to go down once again. He's going to get executed. Curve as well, incredibly low. This could be the henge coming over here in favor of TCG, but is that enough? Because the 2 cap is in favor of Vermilion right now. They are 120 points ahead of their opponents. All they have to do is hold on to the points. There's nothing else they need to do. TCG, with a minute left on the clock, are over 100 points down. I don't think there's any way they can come back from this one.
RG has got to be pretty happy right now. They just can't. It's 40
Living up
seconds
to his
left
title
on the
right
map.
now is RG.
120-point map at the moment in favor of Vermilion. Wow, they've got to be pretty bloody happy about this, my friend. Still keeping the 2 cap in their favor. TCG know it's over. They're just backing away at present, trying to pick at these guys and find a weakness. they played it so well at the beginning, but Vermilion answered, and they did react well, which is what I said before this game, that sometimes they don't, but they did, and they pulled it back, and they pushed TCG back into a similar situation that they were really early on in the game, where they kept the Mesmers out of the team fights. But really, the Ranger has, Alco's just been doing a fantastic job at helping these guys survive with his control effects, and also, you know, his general healing that came out in that game. So I wish I could drop in to see how much he did. But you know, good work from this team, I've got to say, and really solid performance as well from TCG. But just at the end of the day, you know, Vermilion just played it better. I'm
incredibly impressed by Vermilion in that game. They read TCG perfectly. They read them like an open book. Every single time we saw TCG try and go for a rotation, try and change up the playstyle, Vermilion immediately react perfectly every time. And I think it was crucial as well, the Mesmer play coming out from Vermilion. We saw there was a key point where one of the Mesmers, there was a 1v1 going on over at Keep, and I think it was Snowball that was about to die, so close to going down. The other Mesmer arrives, manages to let Snowball kind of sub out, and Snowball immediately goes over to the team fight, and that's then when we saw the 3-man wipe onto TCG, and that was kind of the point at which sort of the point of no return for TCG at that point, I feel.
I mean, they had to make a vital decision, you know.
Yeah.
Really early in the game, when TCG were controlling it, and they were over at Henge, if Vermilion had wiped there, TCG probably would have won with that game and won it, because it would have been, you know, a little bit morale destroying as well. And early on facing TCG, especially being maybe kind of nervous, maybe going into this game, because they must have been, you know, going up against TCG and Hellsurf. You can't be, you can say you're not, but you must be, right? But yeah, they handled it. They handled it well, and they didn't lose their cool over on that node. They didn't wipe. They only lost one member. They came back out, and their movement back into those nodes and defensive positions, making sure that TCG didn't have enough momentum to push so far to take the caps back, was really, really good.
I think you've kind of perfectly outlined Vermilion there when you said they handled it well. That seems to be just Vermilion in a nutshell. Just cool, calm, calculated. They know what to do. Yeah. They know what they need to do. And nothing's going to stop them from just executing that strategy. And
we'll see. For a song title there, but no. Okay, fine. You were inventive with Time Warp.
Over my head right there. But anyway, let's head on to the second map. I just want to get the second game underway. I want to see if TCG can pull themselves back into this one, or whether it's going to be a 4th 2-0 of the night, and Vermilion keeping that first position. That will be absolutely insane. I can't wait. Let's get onto the map. It is going to be Legacy of the Fofire as we head into this second game of the best of 3. Let's take a quick look at the builds. Has anything changed? To be honest, I don't think anything really needed to change. I don't think it was a matter of builds.
There's tiny changes here and there. It's going to be whether or not we see the Revenants change as well into Power or Condi. They're still focused on the... Well, Kev is playing the Condi version over here. Triffin obviously is going to get you going for the Zerka version, which is really, really paying off quite well.
Love it.
He's able to come in with some really great damage at times where he can, you know, really pressure those Mesmers, because they can get rid of those conditions, but they've not got an engineer, you know. So they still, some power damage is really, really useful. Obviously, you know, the Mesmers have got a little bit of power damage. But the extra pressure that comes out so they can pick up the burst on these guys is going to be really, really great, and has paid off for them in this couple of situations. You see Triffin taken down quite a lot. Remember, he's not got that much HP. You know, Herald is quite defensive as well. So we'll see how well we go in the second game.
Yeah, we absolutely will, and it's going to be kicking off in just 3 seconds. We're ready to get this one under the way, and the players are too. Let's see how the split pans out. And actually, just 4 members immediately charging straight out here for Vermilion, heading towards the south side of the map. Looks like 3 are going to go mid, and 1 down towards that quarry. Looks like 1 apiece on the side nodes, and a 3 versus 3 in the middle of the map here. All of the Revenants. In fact, no, 1 of the Revenants has gone to the bottom point. So we're going to see 2 Revs here for Vermilion, and only 1 in the middle of the map. Let's see how that pans out in this team fight.
Yeah, Triffin going for the excess damage onto Freylina there. The Slick Shoes comes out as well as a Gravity Well onto Triffin. hardly any HP comes out down onto him. And actually, Freylina is still fighting for his life. Res comes out. He's, oh, wow, gets finished off there as well. So we've got the quickness down coming out from Triffin. And that's how you counter the fast res. You counter it with a fast down, but that won't happen too much in the future. But we'll talk about that later. Again, as Drazzy drops quite low on the mid. And he did a good job at using those slick shoes, but they didn't bring it out in the end. Enough support came out from these team members. And they're just running around. And it feels like they're playing a game. They're just running around the midpoint at the moment, like we saw over on the midpoint on Forest, where they're trying to survive and sustain while they wait for their members to get back into the map.
Yeah, Helseth incredibly low, but should be okay for now. I mean, we've seen Helseth get low a million times, and it's not often that we see him go down. So I've kind of given up on assuming Helseth's going to go down at this point. But we are going to see Triffin, who we have seen go down in the last game.
Oh,
so
they're going for an outnumber.
in a little bit of trouble.
No,
but
sorry, equal up fight here as well. Oh no,
3v2 if Snowball joins as well, but that means it's going to be a 3v2 over in the midpoint as well. But Vermilion have already got themselves the quarry. They're already one cap up, and that's racked them up 25 points. Immediately, we see Drazza heading over to try and get that decap, and it looks like he should be able to. Nobody really reacted to that. Portal is there, you're right, and it is going to be RG arriving on the scene. Denies that one. Freylina getting incredibly low, but so is Curve, and actually Curve could be in a little bit of trouble if Helseth can just finish off that man. I don't think he's going to be able to with Snowball there, though.
Oh, look, almost. I mean, I thought we were actually going to see someone else coming into mid there, just saw a red name, and I was feeling like we were going to see a bit of a rev rotation there to pick up Curve, but not indeed in the end. That means that TCG elsewhere on the map might have a little bit of an advantage in their favor. Triffin drops very low himself, moving back over towards mid now, leaving Alcor to survive in that case. Now we've got the extra +1. Lord Helseth is going to be going down here as well as we move back over towards this quarry node and see whether or not RG's going to be able to hold on. Yeah, and RG is really feeling the pinch right now, but Curve as well is not doing too great for himself. But Kazas, actually RG is very low to going down, very close to going down even. He's got his cooldowns back up though. Helseth goes down, and it looks like the execute is going to be there. Oh, just managed to teleport away, but it's not going to last all too long. That is going to be Triffin grabbing that midpoint, and that will be the cap advantage once again for Vermilion right now. Are they going to be able to turn this into anything more though? Alcor went down, RG and Curve as well, incredibly low, and TCG might be able to flip this back on its head. RG still surviving though somehow. Drazza trying to do what he can. Kaz's jumping on him as well, but RG is, I mean, he calls himself RG the King, and he's proving it right now as he just dives around the map using portals perfectly. It's like he's using it as a mini blink at the moment as well, but unfortunately here, because RG had to bail out, he's actually, the Curve went into the downstate there. He's going to, don't even bother attempting to go for that res. He's so low, and now RG is in a difficult situation as we see over on the midpoint now. 2v2, well, this isn't going to be great for TCG at the moment, but it looks like they're just trying to force members back over towards the midpoint, maybe grabbing themselves up on the sides. We're going to see Respawn coming out though. Maybe we'll see Curve going over towards that waterfall. Only 1 or 2 ticks left. Alcor's still doing a great job though.
Yeah, if they can take out Alcor, they're going to be able to find themselves in a 2-cap advantage right now. Vermilion, obviously pretty significantly ahead in points, but Freylina is in so much trouble. Are they going to be able to finish her off? He managing to dive around, or him, I'm not even sure, but Freylina just dodging around everywhere, and he's incredibly low. The dots are ticking away, and it looks like he might just drop, but the heal comes through down into downstate. Can they finish him off? The res is going to be channeled, and Freylina back onto his feet, and now they head over towards this waterfall. The graveyard has been capped, though. It's 1 apiece as the quarry is in favor of TCG. The points racking up on either side, but it looks like we do still see 2 members over towards the midpoint for Vermilion. They maybe need to commit more to this waterfall because they're outnumbered right now, but they head over towards the quarry instead. Kazas in a 2 versus 1. Alcor down into downstate, but immediately gets rezzed over towards the waterfall. Kazas just doing his best in this 1v1, but he's losing out a little bit there.
Almost. RG went back over to mid just at the right time. They were looking for the cross swords to try and take as much advantage in terms of damage onto Kazes as they could. He's very low, but now Helseth is forced into a position where he has to move over onto this side of the map, has to defend. And now they bring Curve actually quite low himself. So, you know, they pushed them to the sides. That was very clever thinking from Vermilion, especially bringing him down that low, that they had to force them into this part of the map. That's a very good play. Almost playing these mind games similar to how TCG play them, but maybe a little tiny bit more obvious. But, you know, TCG had no no other option than to go over to that side of the map.
And they have no answer to it either, but Triffin and Curve as well, both feeling the, like, really being pressured on here by TCG, but Curve should be able to top himself back up again. Does have RG with him as they head towards this midpoint just to deny any cap. Oh, the portal play comes in.
Way!
They're going to be able to get the decap, and that is huge for Vermilion right now.
Well.
They managed to keep the midpoint as well, but crucially, that is going to mean that this lead continues to escalate. They're on almost double the points of TCG, and Drazza nearly going down there over at the waterfall. TCG seem to be falling apart. Vermilion are standing strong. Drazza jumping back onto the waterfall point, but he's just about out of cooldowns, and he's almost out of HP as well. Freylina as well, incredibly low. The Condis are stacking up as well, and they're both in just desperately trying to hang on to life right now.
Yeah, just about. Lord Asura is absolutely pulling it out of the bag, as well as Freylina and these guys getting off node where they need to be. But Drazza gets caught up as he just drops over towards that side of the point there and gets fully taken out. And the burst comes out to Freylina, and Freylina needs to be very careful. He has his heal. He gets back into assassin stance, and now he needs to get out of there and really make sure he's going to be able to sustain this point. Vermilion still one cap in their favor. We're going to see the Revenant Curve moving over towards the other side of the map, as obviously Drazza has been finished off, and he's got to make a bit of a trip over towards that side. I'm wondering, Drazza probably needs to go towards the close point here. He's going to go because Curve's forcing him to push. So they're forcing them away from midpoint in different acts here. Snowball is again pushed back over towards that side of the map, which means they're able to almost get the downstate here over on Waterfall. That's calmed down now. I'm liking this position that Triffin has actually at the moment as well. He's doing a fantastic job. We're seeing TCG not being so focused into their damage, but just as I say that, nice slick shoes comes out from Drazza. We can see the res so close, and Curve gets back up. Snowball on the other side of the map and maintaining that support along with Alcor there as well. Feels like when they're going in the team fight versus Alcor, any kind of out like 2v2, they're just not able to get much out of it, other than maybe one occasion that we saw over on Forest.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely loving watching this matchup, because no matter what either team does, the other team immediately reacts to it and makes something happen. Vermilion are managing to take these small advantages, but the thing is, they took that. Oh, Azure actually is in a whole lot of trouble. He's going to go into that downstate. Can they channel the res though? Drazza is well incredibly low. Azure did get back onto his feet, but Drazza into downstate. If they can continue this pressure, they're going to be in fantastic position to take one of these side caps. But even with just these small advantages that they're slowly but surely grabbing, they've had this single cap for so long. They were on just over double when they first got it. Now they're almost triple. In fact, they're over triple the score of TCG. TCG, with only 6.5 minutes on the clock, they're running out of time. They've got to make something happen. Lord Ashura incredibly low as well, in fact.
No, I mean, this game at the moment, I'm loving the fact that we've got portals coming out from... one portal coming out from RG, and how effective this has been in their decaps and sending, you know, the rev through it or themselves to just be mobile and pressure and just moving different members. Like, it's not him, it's not the Mesmer. So use the portal to give someone else mobility in the single term, in just for the single player. So the Mesmer's not got to be the one that's go for the decap. One portal is working so well for them at the moment. Lord Asura, low HP, had to disengage, moving back over towards the midpoint now as well. And look, you've seen hardly any movement. This is like ghost town at mid now at the moment, but Lord Asura does push into mid. They know that's going to be the case. Blue team back on there. They know if they haven't pushed them out to the sides, they know they're going for that decap because it's wide open, and that's the only way TCG are going to be able to come back into this at the moment. A Lord Rush is not enough, and if they go for it, they're not going to be able to come back into this game, and Vermilion could beat TCG 2-0 if they don't pull it out of the bag very soon.
They are really pushing for this one. Alcor managing to do incredibly well against Hellseth in this 1v1 over at the waterfall, slowly but surely capturing. But Curve is going to be able to get res once again. Vermilion just seem unkillable right now. So many times we've seen them go down, but just not able to be finished off. TCG just can't quite finish off those kills, and now they're starting to feel the pressure themselves. Kazza's getting a little bit low. He's seeming to be the focus target here, just trying to kite around the side of the fight. But this is just an endless battle that's been going on at Quarry, and an endless 1v1 going on over at Waterfall. Snowball here against Freylina in the middle of the map. Snowball starting to get fairly low, but on that Mesmer should be doing just about okay. Should be able to keep himself alive.
He's got the decap police, you know, that's the start of something, but 4 minutes left in the game. They need a cap. cap. They need cap points here.
This could be their opportunity because RG and Snowball are both incredibly low. If they can kill either of these, or both of them, in fact, Curve as well, the pressure is coming out. TCG, they might just be able to do something with this. Curve is going to get executed. RG is in a whole heap of trouble. He goes down. That's 2 men. Can they do anything with the man advantage, though?
This is good. They've moved off Waterfall. They were in that situation for so long. As soon as they remove Alcor from the situation, they're able to start to get some kind of progression on this map. And getting that decap at mid was very, very useful. I did unfortunately miss that when I moved into the midpoint. Apologies for that. But now, Freylina is under a lot of pressure, even though we saw a couple of guys killed on the side of Vermilion. But it looks like they're focusing over towards the mid node now to try and pick up this team fight, as well as pushing Waterfall. Now, TCG are doing a good job. Drazzy is watching out for this quarry node as well, of course. RG is the man with the portal, so no doubt he's going to stand over there and probably put it on down. He has indeed. And now we're going to see the move over towards the midpoint. So how they play this now is going to be a very, very important. TCG need 20 points or so now until they get into range of a Lord kill. But if they push Lord, they could lose the map. And they may not get in range of getting a win, of course. So now they've got to play this so perfectly. And if they lose any members pushing over towards Waterfall, they're in the correct position. But if they don't play this correctly, they could throw it all away.
They certainly could, and I mean, this is all or nothing right now. Freylina goes down. Kazas as well is feeling the pressure. Are they going to be able to finish off this kill, though? Freylina, are they going to be able to get the rest? I don't think they can. Helseth is trying, but he's not going to be able to do it. Freylina goes down, and now Helseth is on his own. Kazas as well is still incredibly low, and he's just trying to find a way to get back to safety, just kiting on around. But with Freylina going down, they kind of lose the pressure that they had. They only have 1 cap, and that's not going to be enough to catch up. They have to get a second cap here, or they are out of this game. Vermilion are looking to take this 2-0. It might just happen.
They just need to hold on. Helseth is doing a fantastic job. If he can hold on until we get some support, then they will be able to move over towards this side of the map. Kazes comes in, but he needs to get there quickly. Finds a target, which means he's going to be able to get there quite quickly and relieve Helseth on point. If they can pile people in, they're going to be able to get ahead in terms of the Lord Rush. They're not going to be able to get the points, but they're going to be able to get the actual Lord Rush if they can. But it's going to have to be last second potentially as well, as we still got 2 minutes left on the map. 131 points ahead now. This is looking interesting. The map can't take it.
This is intense, as we do see a little bit of silver light going out there. Vermilion, the health bars are all starting to get fairly low. If TCG can just win a single fight at this point, they are all but in with a chance of getting it. They have enough points to go for a Lord Rush. If they can wipe Vermilion, if they can get 3 or 4 kills, they're going to be in fantastic stead. Alcor and Curve both getting incredibly low. Alcor is going to be going into downstate. No, gets the heal at the last second, and he's going to be able to stay alive. Helseth being focused on down, but I'm not sure.
They take him out. It's probably over.
He's going to drop into downstate.
Back onto point, though. Is he going to be able to get rezzed here as well by Lord Asura? He's in the mid, so they're not going to be able to get the fast res, unfortunately, as well. And Vermilion meaning that their momentum is going to be defeated here. And if they take out any more TCG members, they will probably lose the advantage they have, obviously, momentum. Now Freylina pushes for the gate, trying to take it down. Kaz is downstate. They need to get the boss rush now. 1 minute left in the map. We are going to see the quarry has been lost there. He's going to pick it back up. Obviously, the port defeating them again. And he just popped through, stopping the cap. Just any tiny point score. Freylina is taken down in his desperate attempt to go for the gate with 40 seconds left on the map. Vermilion at 300 points. They get any more, and this is not going to be comebackable at all. That's a new word. And we're going to see Snowball. They're coming back for defense potentially when they don't even need to. The 2 cap comes in favor. Last-ditch effort for TCG to try and do this. 100 points, 292.50 puts them ahead.
There's only 20 seconds on the clock.
They've got to get this Lord Rush. 10-15. Is it going to be enough? Surely not.
It is all or nothing right now for TCG. They've got to go for the Lord Rush, but look how many members are here for Vermilion. This is just not going to be doable.
6,
Azura is going incredibly low as well. Helseth starting off the fight. Kazas is on the Lord, but it's still nearly full HP. And that is going to be Vermilion taking the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Vermilion taking the series 2-0 against TCG. And what an upset coming out. I mean, phenomenal performance coming out from Vermilion. They played that so well. You look, I mean, you're like just completely shell-shocked.
I'm just trying to hold my tongue. I needed to buy it in a little bit.
I mean,
oh wow.
Just take a second. Just take a second.
I'm not sure many people, maybe people feel like they can't believe that as well, but wow, that was just absolutely amazing. You saw even those tiny little plays of portals, you know, Alcott just nipping
that
through
last
the portal,
one at the last
bang,
second,
bang.
just stops the cap for 2 seconds and just backs away again.
Oh my God, amazing, amazing.
I think the massive thing there for me is that really sets up Vermilion for kind of, we deserve to be here. It's no longer like, oh, TCG are going to be up against them in the future. Are they going to be able to keep it? Are they going to be able to maintain their spot? Yes, they are. Vermilion with a 2-0 victory. Just such strong play from them, and such I mean, really impressed by their map play in general. I can't wait for week 7 where we see them against rank 55, because that is going to be an insane matchup.
Especially because, you know, the point score now, it feels determined almost one first and second, you know.
Yeah.
And especially for next week's matchups, it's going to be tough. But that last week as well, if we see in the finals those two teams going up against each other, maybe that's almost, you know, a preview in itself. I know we're thinking about a little bit into the future, but that's potentially what we're looking at right now. And this Pro League is just, guys, you've got to keep watching this. 2 more weeks of Pro League and then finals. I mean, we're seeing 2 brand new teams potentially going to our finals. I'm not, you know, it's not completely over, but it's feeling like it.
It might well be. The only team right now...
The points, actually.
The only team right now that can contest the top spots is TCG.
Yeah.
If they win their next 2 games, they're going to be on 5 points, but they rely on either rank 55 or Vermilion losing their next 2 games.
And next week, I mean, how much is that going to happen? I mean, we've got rank 55 versus more guns, maybe.
I mean, more guns have upset in the past. They took the game off Orange Logo.
True. If anyone's going to do it, could be them.
But then again, I was saying that about earlier today, and Car Crash managed to beat them. So
God,
it's all a bit up in the air, but it's certainly feeling like we definitely have strong favourites to be heading to the finals at this point.
Yeah, those guys, I can imagine how they feel in TeamSpeak. I might send a message over towards RG and just say, "You're right, mate," and just no answer, because they'd just be absolutely going nut bar in chat. But in TeamSpeak, but you know, I mean, TCG, there was a lot of confidence about them getting into, like, being able to take tonight, I feel, or getting into. Maybe they'll probably still think that there's still a chance. But yeah, it's not looking great for those boys.
No, it's certainly not. But massive congratulations once again to rank 55 and Vermilion, who are going to be at the top of our scoreboard. Let's take one last look at our scoreboard for the day as we saw our 4th 2-0 victory come in from that one. I believe we had 2-0 Chaotic Contingency, 2-0 Car Crash, 2-0 Rank 55, and 2-0 Vermilion. That is going to be Week 5 rounded up for the Guild Wars 2 Pro League. If you've enjoyed it, make sure you let us know. Tweet with the hashtag GW2PL. And obviously, the NA Pro League is going to be on later this evening. You can check us out on Facebook, tweet at us, and check us out on YouTube as well. And make sure you stay tuned. Just keep the Twitch open in a little tab at the side, because NA will be on the same channel later this evening. And we'll see who their teams are going to be that are going to be heading to the finals.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, you know, it's still a little bit open for other positions. We've still got, you know, teams can get different cash prizes as well. But it's starting to close up now. We are on the road to the finals for sure. Don't forget to go and check out the information on the Q1 balance changes on the forums as well. There's some information, brief information as well on each class. If you're a warrior or thief, maybe you can see some happiness in your life. But otherwise, that's pretty much it.
It certainly is. So that is going to be the end of the stream. Make sure you tune in later for the NA, and make sure you tune in next week for Week 6 of the Guild Wars 2 Pro League. But from myself, from Jebro, and from the rest of the production crew, it is going to be good night, and we'll see you next time.